Or do you think that there are multiple ways to spin this and both can have their merits? And is there one side you find yourself leaning more towards? I think I know
Sure.
the answer, but I'm not actually sure because sometimes you just got to like put it straight like that and see what you
For
say.
sure.
Yeah,
For sure. So I think we have developed and have to develop, if we're really thinking deeply about this, the understanding of what the overloading ranges are, the overloading thresholds are for these various variables. So, what is the overloading threshold for relative intensity? How many reps in reserve is too many, and then you're not training hard enough, and then you would have to do like an inordinate amount of volume to justify yourself. And someone could say, you'd be much more efficient, much better stimulus to fatigue ratio if you just did a little bit harder each set, but did fewer sets. And the thing is, we're getting pretty good at knowing where that bottom end limit is. That's like 3 or 4 reps in reserve, and anything north of that is pretty good, right? Another problem is that the research can't really tell apart 3 RIR and 2 RIR from going to failure. There have been many, many studies that have tried, and these studies are on beginners, which means what they're really doing is going like 6 RIR versus 3 RIR, and we still can't find a difference in their growth. Now, they're beginners. There have been some studies in intermediates and slightly more advanced folks, and they still can't tease it apart. As far as I can tell, there has not been one good, convincing, well designed study that has shown that going to true failure is superior to any number of RIRs that have been studied, right? Short of like, 5 or something like that, right? So when people say you got to go all out, I'm over here left questioning what we have. Why is that really the case, right? So we know the overload threshold is from 3 to roughly 0 RIR. Okay, if we go outside of that, then the guys saying you got to train harder, they win, right? They make it a good point. But we also know that volume has a threshold as well. And it's, any number of sets, roughly between 3 and probably 10 sets per session per muscle group.